Good evening, everyone, on 1st of March, and it has been a lovely start to the spring. Sun's been shining here in Chester. What's it been like in Manchester, Daria?
It was really good for change as well, actually.
Was it good? So I'm here this evening with Daria, and we're going to be talking about Kundalini Yoga and all its many benefits. But just to give you a little bit of background, I met Daria not met her because we were in lockdown at the start of lockdown in 2020. And I started practicing Kundalini Yoga then, having done Hatha Yoga for many years before that. And I can honestly say that meeting Daria and starting to practice Kundalini Yoga has changed my life completely, hasn't it, Daria?
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm a big fan of Kundalini Yoga. So we have invited Daria in this evening just to talk about it. So Daria, do you want to just give us a bit of background to begin with? Tell us a little bit about your story, what got you into Kundalini Yoga and then teaching?
Yes, of course, I would love to. So a little bit, my story is a bit similar to yours. By the look of things, I was doing Hatha yoga for quite a while. Actually, I started in my 20s. This is how I first actually got into yoga altogether. I had a very unhealthy lifestyle, and I was just like drinking a lot and eating unhealthy, and of course became quite sick as a result. And I was thought I need something healthy in my life. Maybe I could take up yoga classes, and this is how it all started. And I was very unflexible. I wasn't physical at all, and I thought if I can touch my knees with my forehead, that would be the dream. This is like I made it. That was the only thing I was thinking about. And this is how my journey started almost, well, no, like 18, 16, 17 years ago. And after all these years, it's incredible. Like I feel now younger than I was when I was in my 20s. I feel like I have more energy, like I'm just more have more peace and acceptance and just love life on a much deeper level than I used to. So I have done Hatha yoga for a good few years, and I always really enjoyed it. I thought it was lovely. And all my friends were saying, "Oh, you need to become a yoga teacher." And I never really wanted to. I don't know why. I just never wanted to become a yoga teacher. And then I came across Kundalini Yoga, and literally the first class blew my mind. I couldn't, like, I was quite young. I was quite physical. I didn't really do that much of a meditation and like energy work, but I just knew something happened. I wasn't really sure what happened, but it touched me so deeply, and I never looked back. And I found another Kundalini yoga teacher, and I was just like, this is the practice for me. This is what I'm going to be doing now all the time, and I could actually see myself like doing it properly and actually as well sharing it with others. So this is how I got into Kundalini Yoga, and that was over 12 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing. And just tell us a little bit about what makes it so different to other types of yoga that are more mainstream, I suppose, that people have generally heard of, like Hatha or Vinyasa or something like that.
In a traditional yoga class, you mainly do kind of physical exercises. There might be a mention of a breathing, but it's mainly physical exercises, physical workout. Whereas in Kundalini Yoga, of course, we do physical exercises, but there's quite a lot of like breathing and meditation, mantra, chanting. So we work on many levels in Kundalini Yoga. We work with energy quite a lot in Kundalini Yoga. Even if you're not able to do physical posture, you're still going to benefit from the class. And because we work on so many levels in the same time, this is what makes this practice quite powerful as well. So they say you can do like Kundalini yoga regularly for about 1 year, and Hatha yoga for about 10 years regularly, and the effects will be similar, just because we work on many levels. Like, if there's a resistance from the mind, we get it from the body. Like, like we work on many levels, and this is what makes this practice quite a profound, like spiritual, I would say even a spiritual path, really. People who get into it, I mean, you can really take it take from it as much as you want. You don't need to, wear all the whites. And I mean, this is not what I look like on every day. I've just finished a class as well. So you can, it can definitely start a spiritual journey, like as it did really for you on a deeper level, or you can just do a weekly class and really still benefit from it greatly.
Just tell us a little bit about why people wear white in Kundalini yoga.
Okay, so white, just like black, they contain all the colors, and because we work with like chakras, so as I said, we work with energy in Kundalini yoga. So it's quite important to have that, So you could wear white or black. However, white has this energy of like purity and like neutrality. So it's like, for me as a teacher, it's quite important to stay as neutral as possible, so I just do the job. I only like share the teaching. It's not really about me so much, but it really changes your electromagnetic field as well. So I always say to people, if you're not sure about it, have a shower, wear all the white clothes, or at least like a white t-shirt, and you'll start feeling differently. Like, it changes your mood, it changes the energy around you. They were saying, like, if you're feeling quite depressed, go and have a shower, just, all the whites, and it will lift your energy. You'll start feeling differently. And I strongly feel it works. Now I love even wearing whites outside of the yoga class, because it's just great. It lifts your mood and it strengthens your electromagnetic field.
Yeah, so Kundalini yoga, it's working on the electromagnetic fields, isn't it? The auras, the chakras, all of the different bodies that we have. And it really is working like mind, body, spirit, isn't it?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I know I've done classes not in white, and I've done them in white, and I definitely notice the difference when I'm wearing the white.
That's great. That's great. And it's the same with turban. Like, I wear a turban as a protection. As a teacher, I think it's very important. However, some people come to my classes and they are curious about the turban as well. And first of all, it holds your energy. It's like, as I said, we work with energy, so we don't want that energy to escape from our body. We generate a lot of energy in Kundalini yoga, so we want to kind of hold it in. So turban, like, holds your energy. It's kind of like a adjustment for your skull, for like a craniosacral adjustment as well, and it keeps you focused. Like, people, when they try doing yoga class with a turban on, they say, wow, that was a different class, like the focus is just there. It really works. So this is the thing. It's like, there are many lifestyle tips and teachings in Kundalini yoga, but I only do those things that really work. I don't just like do everything because I'm being told. I just, at first, I'm going to go and check for myself, and if I'm convinced that it's going to work, I'm going then to share it with people. And because otherwise, I mean, like, what's the point? So so like, those things, they might seem strange, but they really work, and it's quite a simple thing, really. Like, for example, putting all white clothes on, or at least white t-shirt, it will lift you. So why not try it?
So, talking a little bit more about energy, I'm sure there's some people in here that understand about Kundalini energy and Kundalini rising, but could you just explain a little bit, in case there's some people that aren't aware?
Of course. So there's a lot of like negative hype or misconception about Kundalini energy. I feel like quite a lot of people don't understand what Kundalini energy is. And so first of all, I want to like make a distinguish the difference. So there's Kundalini yoga and Kundalini energy. And of course, in Kundalini yoga, we work with Kundalini energy, but they're not like exactly the same things, So Kundalini energy, it's a life force energy. All living beings really have Kundalini energy within them. However, most of the time, like in human beings, most of the time, that energy is dormant, is sleeping, and we're not using that energy. We're not tapping into this energy. And Kundalini yoga, well, there are many ways of awakening this Kundalini energy, but Kundalini yoga is one of the ways of awakening, but it's a very very slow, very subtle way of awakening these energies. This energy can get awakened in doing whatever. You might not even do any kind of spiritual practice. It can get awakened. It can get awakened during sex. It can, like, during argument. Like, there are many kind of situations when it can happen. However, the Kundalini Yoga, it's a slow preparation for your body and mind for awakening of this energy. So the awakening is very subtle, but like you feel the difference. You say, oh, I used to do this and I'm not doing those things anymore in my life. Like things are starting to shift and change. But we need to, it's very important to prepare the body for that Kundalini awakening, because when sometimes every now and then I get a phone call of people who had Kundalini awakening, but either they didn't have any spiritual practice, or maybe they were doing some meditations in their bedroom. They really had no idea what they were doing, and it happened. The body and the mind they weren't prepared for that awakening, for that energy. It's almost like I always say to people, like, that Kundalini energy is very powerful. It really is, and it's almost like you don't have a driving license and you're getting yourself a Porsche and you're like going for it. I mean, the big chances are you're going to really crash badly, if you don't know how to drive a car, and you're all of a sudden getting a really powerful machine, So it's similarly with this energy. If you don't know how to manage that energy, if you don't know how to work with it, it gets awakened. You might get into trouble, and especially if on the top of it you become really scared of it, and then you put all another like negative emotions on the top of it. This is how kind of imbalance can happen. However, as I say, like in Kundalini Yoga, we work with the body, and mainly like we work a lot with the energy to clear the blockages that are like that. Kundalini energy runs like along your spine, just like the chakra system. And so a lot of the work in Kundalini Yoga, it's all about like cleansing that energy, cleansing those chakras, so that energy can flow freely, can flow well in your body. So brilliant. It's like a creative potential, like a potential that we have in our life, and like it gives us experience of being limitless. This is what Kundalini energy is about. So I personally think it's more important not to even try to work with that energy, not to try to tap into that energy, and just like live your life kind of like almost like half live, like you're not really living to the fullest. When you give yourself a possibility to tap into that energy, like life becomes so much deeper, richer, and like more juicy. So I don't know, I've never seen anybody in Kundalini Yoga, and I know hundreds of people who practice Kundalini Yoga who had any problem as a result of Kundalini awakening. As I said, it can happen if the body and mind are not prepared for it.
Okay, thanks for explaining that. Okay, so just tell us a little bit about your classes then. What sort of people come to your classes? Who really enjoys Kundalini Yoga?
So it's interesting because people who come to me are very different. Some people are retired people, and then there's business people, and then there's like mothers. Like the people are really across the board. But I think you need to be like quite open, like and you definitely need to enjoy that kind of like, or at least be open to like spiritual energy, spirituality, mantras and stuff. Because if you're only like looking to lose weight, or kind of just like stretch your body a little bit, I mean, you're going to get that as a result of Kundalini Yoga. However, that's not the main point of practicing. So I think you need to be kind of like spiritually inclined, or at least open to that energy, open that there is something more out there, and allow yourself to be guided and be ready for transformation. I think if you like very because Kundalini Yoga has this potential of like rocking the boat, and like this like the main PowerPoint of the class is the Kriya, and Kriya means transformation in action. And there is a lot of transformation that can happen, and it often happens in Kundalini Yoga. So if you're open to change, open to transformation, and things like that, then you probably are going to enjoy Kundalini Yoga class. I think everybody should try Kundalini Yoga class. Like, I totally agree, it's not for everybody, but I think you should try and then say, no, I hate it, this is totally not for me, and I appreciate that. But I would like everybody to try Kundalini Yoga at least once. Most people say it's working. Maybe they say, oh, it's not really for me, but they cannot say it's not working. And often they come to a class and then they come back to it after a few years or so, like when they're ready. Sometimes they're not quite ready for it, and then they are after some time.
I wasn't ready for the transformation, but I certainly got it.
You were a wonderful student. You were so committed. You were. It is just joy working with you. You're so open to whatever comes your way. I love working with you, Rachel.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
and there's a lot that happened, as a result of this committed practice, right? You can.
Oh yeah,
you can tell.
yeah. I've seen a massive transformation and like mindset shifts and all sorts from practicing Kundalini Yoga. And just touching on the Kriyas, what I found is that like I like some of the more physical, don't I, that are really challenging, where you think you're going to die any minute. And I also love some of the ones that are more like just play focusing on your breathing or not as physical. So yeah, it surprised me what a massive range there is. Whereas I think if you go to like a hatha yoga class, generally you're doing similar postures, aren't you, every week? Whereas I don't think I've been doing it for 2 years and I've never done the same class twice. So
no, that's it. And it's interesting as well to see that some things are challenging physically, some things are challenging, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And so I like to say, a class, like every Kundalini Yoga class, in every Kundalini Yoga class there is a Kriya. And I like to say, like doing the class or participating in a class, it's almost like baking a cake. Let's say I have 10 people in the class, and I give them exactly the same exercises and I give them exactly the same set. And at the end, some people will say, oh, that was wonderful, that I really enjoyed it, so much peace. And some other people will say, I was in so much pain, I can't believe this, Like, so I sometimes exactly opposite opinions, about that one class. I like to say it's almost like baking a cake, like I give 10 people exactly the same recipe for, let's say, a carrot cake or something. And they are going to come out with like 10 slightly different cake, like because they put their own energy, like their own kind of background into it. So like Kriya has its own intelligence and it will give you what you need, not what you want often, but it will give you what you need at the time. So it's very fascinating how it works. And people say, oh, it's quite challenging, and it's like, it was like the first or second class. But to be honest, me, after 12 years of doing it, I find some of the exercises and sets still challenging. But that's the beauty of it. Like, it's really, how are we going to meet the challenge? I think in our modern life, we like to have everything so convenient and so easy and so instant. We're not prepared to, challenge ourselves. We're not prepared to put ourselves through some kind of like difficulty and stuff. And this like Kundalini Yoga class is definitely going to get you out of your comfort zone and like challenge you. But it's beautiful because you grow through it, and it's either you give in to the challenge or you face the challenge and you grow and rise above it. So, and the more you do that in the yoga class, then you take it outside of the class and you say, oh, I thought I was never able to do this pose. And I thought I was never to be able to, I don't know, do painting or anything like that. And so people really change their life as a result of their yoga practice, because they see it possible on the mat and then take it off the mat, really.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think because I know for myself, it's certainly given me a lot of confidence and more self-belief, and yes, think about what is possible, I suppose.
But that's the thing. Like it's interesting because like different people come to me, and so for somebody like getting stronger, getting more grit and stamina and strengthening that nervous system will be really important. But another person, I would say exactly opposite. I would say you need to soften, you need to slow down, you need to cool down. You know what I mean? So it's there's we still have all those things within Kundalini Yoga. I could absolutely offer that to another person, just to give them a different set and different meditation and different practice. So this is the beauty of it. There's like thousands of sets and meditations and so on, and they are so healing. I think the main thing is just so beautifully healing that we need in those times we're living in at the moment. I think this is why Kundalini Yoga is like growing so rapidly and is so powerful, because it's designed for the times we're living in. So it's not that you need to go and do like 2 hours practice every morning. No, you can do 3 minutes of a meditation. You can do 11 minutes of very powerful meditation, you know. So you can do it even if you have, busy life, children and work and whatever it is. You can still have that spiritual practice, have that like spiritual outlet and connection and intuition and deeper life, I guess, as a result of it.
Yeah, I think the rewards are massive, aren't they? And talking about inside out wellness, it definitely gives you that. It gives you wellness on every level. Something that I really like from your classes as well is how you adapt them. So it doesn't matter what someone's fitness level is or their ability, or if they're suffering from an illness, whatever it might be, you can adapt the kriyas, can't you, in your classes to suit anyone, really.
No, that's it. That's it. Really, you can do. If you can't sit on the floor, you can sit on a chair. You can sit on a sofa. You can do so much, even when you have limitations. The problem is that I often always actually suggested that people hardly ever take me up on the offer, because people say, oh, but I see everybody in the class like sitting on the floor. I should be able to sit on the floor. No, you don't need to. You can. I know how this stuff works. You can totally do it sitting on a sofa. As long as you can sit with a straight spine, you're still going to get 100% of the benefits of the practice, but you just need to be open to it, And this is often the problem, that people are not willing to. They think, no, I should be doing like what everybody else is doing. I guess it's because of the whole like exercise culture and stuff, what we think we should be doing, instead of like a few minutes of a breathing exercise can be a more powerful than half an hour of a physical workout. But we're not looking like that at fitness these days. We're still kind of in this old kind of, the more the better and all that kind of stuff.
Less is more for me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's it. So okay, we have had a couple of questions in. So are there any contraindications? Is it suitable for everyone at all times of life, or would there be any contraindications to Kundalini Yoga?
In general, I would say it is suitable for everybody. However, if you have any kind of like specific conditions, if you have any problems with your back, problems with high blood pressure and things like that, like the postures and exercises would have to be adjusted for you. And the same if you're pregnant. I mean, you can still do a class, but there's quite a few things you shouldn't be doing. Ideally, do a pregnancy class, but it can be like, as you said, like I do a lot of variations and like adjustments, so you can in general I would say it's almost suitable for everybody. Like I literally have people, this one guy I remember, he came back from the war, I think it was Afghanistan or somewhere, and he still had this post-traumatic stress disorder from the war. Literally, he didn't have both legs, and he was still doing yoga. It was wonderful. He was sitting on the floor or in a chair, and was still going for it. So blind person I had in my class, it really is very accessible, you know.
And I know from some of the classes I've been in, it's not all young people, is it? So like when you think of yoga classes, sometimes it's that tall, slim, really flexible person that springs to mind, isn't it? But you have people of all ages, don't you? All shapes, sizes, fitness levels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. And I would like to have even more people of different backgrounds, you know. I mainly still have white people coming to my classes, and I would like to change that. I would like to have more people from LGBT community and so on. So I would like to have to make it even more accessible. You know, it's quite a difficult thing to do, but this is always in my mind. How could I invite more people and show them that, you know, it really is very accessible.
Now, we have had quite a few questions from the other Facebook group that Michelle and I run around menopause, and whether or how Kundalini Yoga can support women suffering from menopausal symptoms.
So physically in Kundalini Yoga, we work a lot on hormones. We work on endocrine system quite a lot in Kundalini Yoga. Even if I'm not focusing on thinking of menopause, like there's a lot of classes that will be working on endocrine system or on specific glands. So there's a lot of that work, and on reproductive glands as well, like lower chakras. That there's a lot of definitely a lot of work around that, and as a result of Kundalini Yoga, you get this acceptance of where you are, of who you are, and like ability to really, like, I think, embrace change, which I think is very important when it comes to menopause, because often we go through changes in life, but we don't really want those changes to happen. We want things to be as they used to be. We want to fit in those jeans that we used to always wear, you know, and things like that. Whereas I think because of that spiritual dimension to Kundalini Yoga, we know there's so much more to life than, you know, our body size, what we look like, and so on. So it helps us to go deeper and not even look at our like appearance and, you know, how we are, or like embrace change in a more positive way. Often, actually, when I hear of menopause, I hear, oh, it's so terrible, it's hot flashes, it's, you know, sleepless nights and things like that, where, you know, I don't really, like, maybe it's just like around me, I don't really hear good stories around menopause. And I think it would be interesting to embrace it as a powerful stage of life, you know, change of it, time of change, time of transformation, because there's, like, you know, all these hot flashes and stuff. This is like purification for your body. It's like there is something that it's calling for attention, you know, if you have, because different people as well will have different symptoms, right, when it comes to menopause. So it's definitely time of transformation, time of purification, time of focusing on you and really coming into your power and starting to on using your power that you have as a woman. Because I think, like, once you came to that stage, you lived your life, you experienced a lot in your life, this is the time when you can share a lot of your gifts. This is time when you can share it with others, guide others, and give a lot of the stuff to others. But whereas a lot of women kind of like just go in and like close down and shut down because they don't look as they used to, because they don't feel as beautiful as, you know, 20 years old, and so on. So I would start looking at menopause in more kind of spiritual kind of way, and more, and as well, like, opportunity to transform yourself. Use affirmations, you know, start working with that energy, start working with that fire that it's coming. Like, what is it burning out? What is it, you know, trying to teach you and tell you? So that's and there's obviously a lot of, like, practical things that we do in Kundalini Yoga that would support menopause. So like, we have specific, like if your problem is emotional imbalance, there's a lot of like practices and definitely meditations around that. There's a lot of things for insomnia, sleeping, and so on, hot flashes. Like we have cooling meditations, we've got postures that you could implement, definitely. But this really helps massively. But as well, it's about preparation. It's like menopause doesn't just happen. What do you do in your 30s? What do you weigh before menopause is going to really impact how you are when you're in that stage. So if there's younger women watching my age who are watching this, like, think of your body now. Think how you're treating your body now, what you're doing with your body and mind, and this will pay off, in 10 years time or so on, whenever you're in that stage.
I think that there's a few really good points there. So I think Kundalini Yoga will help with the mindset, won't it? And empowering women. And you've also got loads and loads and loads of different careers that will help with, like you say, emotional imbalances, insomnia, anxiety, concentration and focus. So you could direct the careers towards specific symptoms, as well as at the same time helping with the mindset and helping women feel empowered. Because I know you do there's lots of careers as well on the nervous system, isn't there, which is going to just help calm everything down.
Of course.
The other good point that you raised is about listening to your body. So if you have got, let's take hot flushes, for example, what is your body trying to tell you about that? And that's something that Michelle and I are going to be talking about. So your physical symptoms don't start in the body. It's your unconscious mind trying to communicate something to you. And once you start to pay attention to that and do things to work on the underlying issue, then that can resolve some of the physical or the emotional issues. So yeah, I think Kundalini Yoga would be brilliant for menopause. And if we talk a little bit about heat, I can just share my story. So I cannot tolerate heat. I hate the summer. I love the winter, and I just can't bear heat of any sort whatsoever. I never have my heating on, never wear jumpers or anything. I'm still walking around in a t-shirt and flip-flops in the middle of winter. And I think it was the first lockdown year, wasn't it? And there was a hot day or something. And I was like, oh, I can't do yoga. I'm too hot.
It was 20 degrees. It was 20 degrees in England. And Rachel says, I can't come to a class. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm cold.
So we worked together, didn't we, on just cooling me down in general. And you gave me a meditation to do, didn't you, for 11 minutes a day. And it worked so well that I'm now always really cold and have the heating on all the time. So yeah, I can definitely vouch for some of the methods within Kundalini Yoga.
So if you don't mind me sharing, I'm sure you don't mind me. Like when we started talking about that heat, I'm like, what is this heat all about? And then we came into realization actually that there's a lot of inner anger in you. You know what I mean? That was producing that heat.
Yeah.
So that was the point, and this is why I got you to do like a releasing inner anger meditation, because that was, the heat wasn't just there for no reason whatsoever. There was this anger that was the reason for that. Heat there. So this is like, our bodies are very interesting and complicated machines, and but there's so much wisdom, and the same with, like, I think with menopause. Like often I see people like they are women forced to change diet, but improve diet massively. Like obviously your body can tolerate so much more when you're in your 20s, 30s, and then like your body's like, okay, I've had enough. Like how much longer are you going to do that to me? And then people really improve their diet. They really, they often go on a vegetarian diet, or they start fasting. I've heard that fasting is really, really good as well for menopause. So it's really just about looking after yourself on a deeper level and giving your body what it really wants, so it can again like operate on the best level, and so you can really come into your power and start sharing your gifts and sharing everything, things that you can teach other people with other people, because that's the thing. Like, I feel like people, older people, whether they're men or women, they have so much to share, and younger people don't appreciate it enough. And often, like, as well, they're hiding. They're not giving it away as much as they could. We could learn so much more from people of, different generations, and we're not doing it. So it's all, but us, like, younger generation, being open, but the older generation as well, like, being open to give, being able to really stand in their power and say, hey, this is, like, I've lived my life, like, I know a thing or two, I can share with you, I can teach you. So yeah, I would love this kind of talk to be around menopause, because it's often like, doom and gloom, and like, I'm sure it can be sometimes difficult for people. So I'm not saying it's all lovely and great and we should love that period of time, but definitely kind of approach it from a not from a victim mentality, not from, oh, what's wrong with me, or I'm getting old. It's like embracing this new chapter in your life, because I mean, it's not going to last long. You might as well just enjoy it.
Mm. And I think Kundalini Yoga gives you the tools you need to be able to do that, doesn't it? And it brings balance, doesn't it? And acceptance, like you
Absolutely.
say, as well as being able to help with some of the physical symptoms. So yeah, I think it would work really well for anyone suffering with menopausal symptoms.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I would love to actually, now I've been actually recently asked so many times about menopause, and I would love to work with somebody. So if somebody is willing to be my not guinea pig, because but if somebody would like to work with stuff like that, I would love to work with somebody privately, or ideally privately, really, because my general classes are kind of like people across the board, and they're quite general, whereas with private sessions I can really, like, do bespoke session for somebody and really get to know that another person and give them what they really need, because even that menopausal journey it is very individual,
Very
isn't it?
individual. Yes, it is. Yeah. It's not one size fits all, is it? So
Absolutely.
speaking about working with you, if somebody wanted to join one of your classes or try one of your classes, or even work with you one to one, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
The best way is to go on my website, which is high-on-yoga.co.uk. So high on yoga. Maybe you can link it. Can we
Yeah,
link it
we'll
there?
put the link through.
Or you can always get in touch, like, yeah, to my website is the best way, and send me email. That's the best way. You could try Facebook and or Instagram, but I like the website and emails best, to be honest. And yeah, I have classes. I have online classes and in-person classes in Manchester as well, but online is what I'm really enjoying at the moment. So if you would like to join online classes, they're actually part of the membership that I have, and they're in the membership platform. There are programs as well that are designed for, like, a daily practice, or they're kind of, each program has a theme around, like, let's say, prosperity or self-love or anxiety and so on. So it's kind of like your daily practice. There's either yoga or meditation that you could do to kind of work around that theme and experience that transformation, really, that is possible as a result of a regular Kundalini Yoga practice.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us, Daria,
No, thank you very much. It was
answering
fun.
our
Thank you so much.
questions. And yeah, we'll pop a link to your website underneath this video. And yeah, I would say, everyone, try at least one class. I do agree with Daria, because Kundalini Yoga is nothing like yoga in my
Absolutely. And
experience.
actually, it came to my mind before, and a good job, I just remembered that if people are experiencing some challenges around menopause, there's at least one meditation that is very simple. I have it on my YouTube channel. So if people could get in touch with me, I'll be happy to send them this meditation, and I'm sure it would start shifting, like, things, and it would start producing more peace and yeah, peace and balance, I would say, mainly, around what might be going on. So yeah, I'll be happy to share that with people.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we'll put a link to your website and your email address then under the video, and then if people want to try that out, they can get in touch with you then.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And also on the membership, if anybody does want to try, they get 3 days free, don't they? So they can go in and have a look at the type of things that's in there as well. So
that's it.
yeah.
They can try for free for first 3 days. They're not being charged, and only if they stay and decide then they can pay. But otherwise, they can try for free without any problems.
And just let us know when your online classes are.
My online classes are on Tuesday, 6 o'clock, Thursday, 7:15. That's all UK time. 7:15, and Friday, 9:30 in the morning. But all the classes are recorded as well, so even if you can't make the class, there is recording available, and you can access the recording like in your own time. And as a part of the membership, you get access to all the other programs as well. So that's great for like a daily practice or like a weekly practice that you might want to have.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Daria.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you.
Wonderful. See you later.
Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.